Hey, good people, how y'all doing? Today I'm going to be giving you all my review on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12 Reunion Part 1. Let's go. So, the surprise of the episode was actually having Jamie Lee Curtis there. She came bearing gifts for the ladies. She gave each of them pumpkins with their face carved in on it, and it was really nice. However, I do believe that we could have seen this happen towards the end of the episode or towards the end of the reunion series. All of us fans want to get into all of the craziness that's happened throughout this season. And although I love Jamie, girl, I don't have time for you right now. So once Jamie leaves, Andy goes right in on Garcelle and asks her what she felt about her son, who's only 14, being attacked online. Garcelle told us that it was very hard for her family because this was Jax's first year of high school, and he was getting messages about Garcelle being in Playboy and racist comments and things of that nature. So it was really a hard time for her family. Andy then goes on to ask her, do you think that it was anybody in the cast that had anything to do with this whole situation? And Garcelle is like, yes. One thing about Garcelle, she's going to tell you exactly what she feels. And for me, that's one of the reasons why she's a fan favorite. They did show tweets that fans and haters have sent these women over the years, and it's really disgusting. It's one thing to give your opinion about an episode that you've seen or how you feel these women are. It's a whole other thing when you're coming from a place of hate and threatening and doing all those types of things. That's just never okay. Andy did condemn the people who are doing this type of stuff online. I never really heard him say that before. Why didn't he say that when all of these issues first started to happen? It would have just, I kind of feel like it's a little too late. You guys let me know how you feel about that. But yeah, I would have liked to have heard him say that a long time ago. And I will say also, it's not just the fans who need to be condemned, it's also these women and the way that they talk to one another. Let's not forget that Diana has threatened Sutton at least 2 times. I don't tune in, obviously, to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to see that. Yes, I like to see some drama unfold, but when I feel like when it gets to a place where you're threatening one another, that's not the type of TV that I want to see. And let's not forget the fact that Erica also threatened Sutton last year. Now Andy switches gears and starts to talk to Dorit about this robbery or alleged robbery that happened to her. The reason why I say alleged, it's very hard for me to wrap my mind around the story that Dorit wants us to believe. I totally missed the fact that the robbers apparently left her cell phone right outside the gate before they took off. Girl, you don't have a house phone? Why would they do that? Because don't they know you're going to go right to calling the police? For me, it just seems like, did they have a fear of getting caught? Or was this a well planned out thing? That's just my opinion. Also, the fact that neither she nor PK have really truly shed a tear about this experience, it's not adding up to me. They try to make it seem like they're crying, but I'm still waiting to see one single tear fall down either one of their faces. Andy mentions the fact that people are saying that the robbery is staged and asks Dorit what she feels about that. Dorit said that she struggles just getting out of the bed in the morning. This is something that cannot be orchestrated, meaning the robbery. People do it all the time, so it definitely can be orchestrated, Dorit. When Andy asks her about the cell phone, Dorit says that she begged the robbers to leave her cell phone so that she could call PK. Again, it just doesn't make sense. She does reveal that it's still an open investigation, and apparently she has PTSD. Oh gosh, I really hope that she's telling the truth, because why would you continue filming The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills if you are in this state? It's just not making sense, and I'll just leave it there. Kyle, not to be outdone by Dorit, I don't know why she felt the need to say this, but she says that the person who robbed her has reached out to her and said that they have her things at their grandmother's house. Kyle has been sending money to these people for them to send her stuff back. I guess some of the stuff that was taken away from her were family heirlooms and stuff like that, so she's willing to pay to have this returned to her. And apparently she's not getting any law enforcement or anything like that involved. So Kyle goes on to say, "Isn't that crazy?" And Erica says, "No, it's not crazy. It's called a shakedown. Why would you send them a dime? They're effing criminals." Because she wants her stuff back, Erica. Like, shut up. Now we have Crystal on the hot seat and they do a flashback of her throughout the season. And one of the things that really stuck out to me is how loving her husband Rob was towards her when she was talking about her eating disorder. I felt like that was such a moment for the two of them. His embrace and everything, it was beautiful to see. And I would love to see a lot more of their relationship play out on the show. But I really honestly feel like this is Crystal's last season on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. If you guys notice at the very start of this reunion, she and Andy have a little exchange where he's just saying hi and she's saying hi. But I felt like it was so awkward. Like he was looking for her to say a little bit more, or he was trying to figure out what to say to her. He's having a little bit more of a dialogue with the rest of the women up until the point that he gets to Crystal. He says to Sutton, "What are you wearing? Gucci," or whatever he said to her. He says to Garcelle, "Garcelle, you look like a dominatrix." But when he gets to Crystal, he's just like, "Hey, Crystal." And she's like, "Hey, Andy." And that was it. So yeah, I don't see her coming back for another season. I don't think that she did enough this season to have her come back for the next season. Andy read a question from one of the viewers about Kyle having a double standard. She got really upset with Sutton at Garcelle's birthday party when Sutton said to Diana that she too, meaning Sutton, had experienced a miscarriage. The viewer was trying to point out the fact that Kyle, when Crystal was talking about her eating disorder, decided to talk about her own eating disorder, meaning Kyle's own eating disorder. And isn't that a double standard? So Kyle was like, "Yes, it is. I acted terrible at Garcelle's birthday party. I had a couple of drinks, and yeah, I'm not proud of my behavior." Andy went on to talk about Erica telling Crystal that she should take a laxative to help her with her eating disorder. I felt like Erica did not want to really discuss any further that comment about her saying, she goes on to tell Andy that she was wrong and wants to just kind of leave it there. Meanwhile, Crystal really wants to talk a little bit more about the situation, and I felt like Erica was being very dismissive to her and what she wanted to say, because she's just like, "Yeah, and," or, she just kept kind of cutting Crystal off, and I didn't like that. Andy also asked Crystal what she felt about Dorit letting all of the women know that Crystal throws up every day. If you guys remember that episode, it got ugly when the women were sitting there talking about Crystal's eating disorder and she wasn't there. It kind of did, as Crystal says, feel a little gossipy and judgmental, in my opinion. Crystal's like, "I wasn't happy when I heard that. Like, I felt like that was something she should have just kept private." Dorit was shocked that Crystal was saying this. She says to Crystal, "Well, I didn't think it was a big deal because you had told me this in front of a table full of people." Crystal says, "But still, it was something that was private, and I, didn't like the fact that you said anything to the rest of the ladies." Instead of Dorit just saying, "You know what, I'm sorry that you felt that way," she just tries to defend herself. And I'm like, "No, Dorit, listen to what this woman is saying and shut up. This is not a time for you to defend yourself." I'm telling you, these women have a really hard time saying sorry. It's very simple. "I'm sorry for my actions. Let's move forward," and keep it moving. So now, of course, they start talking about these alleged dark comments that Crystal says Sutton gave. They spent a good 20 minutes on this part of the episode, and the reality of the fact is Crystal lied, okay? Sutton did not say specifically anything dark. In Crystal's experience, as she put it, the conversation was very dark to her. To most people, the conversation, whatever it was that they were having, obviously would not be interpreted as dark, but for Crystal, it was. I'm with Dorit. Dorit says that Crystal just was trying to make herself look good based on what Garcelle was saying to Crystal at that time. That's what it was, okay? It is what it is. It was what it was. Let's move on. I will say, Crystal trying to say that this was my experience, whatever, whatever, that doesn't mean anything, girl. She either said something dark or she didn't. And from what I gather from this reunion, Sutton did not say anything dark. The ladies, meaning Erica and Renna, try to jump down Sutton's throat because Sutton is kind of breezing past this whole situation. She doesn't want to have it go any further than it already has. She's over it. And the fact that they want her to continue to be upset or feel a certain type of way is very hypocritical. Leave it alone. If she's good with it, we all are good with it. What was so surprising about this whole Crystal segment to me was how angry and combative Kyle was with Crystal. It's like, girl, Crystal, what did you do to Kyle? Now, I have seen Kyle be a little bit mean towards Crystal during the season, but she really let loose during this reunion on Crystal. And I was just feeling like, why don't you have the same energy for Lisa Rinna when she's come after both Kim and Kathy? It's like you get upset at the wrong time. Like, Carl, make it make sense. Diana has made her appearance, and if you guys look at this picture, I can't believe how happy Lisa Rinna, Erica, of course, Crystal and Diana are really good friends, but I can't believe how happy these women are to see her come on the screen. They're clapping, they're smiling like she's the best thing ever. Meanwhile, Garcella's like, here we go with this BS. I'm telling you, money has a hold on this group for real, for real. The only reason why these women are celebrating Diana is because she's very, very rich. And to me, she's not even that rich. I feel like Sutton has more money than she does. But whatever. She comes out, and Andy wants to talk about this whole black content creator comment that she made. So Diana says that she thought it was somebody that was trolling her. And I'm listening to her talk, and I'm saying to myself, how do you know the term troll, but you don't know what it means to be a black content creator? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I could understand if you say somebody on the dark web, if you associate, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So Diana has been sending out cease and desist letters from her lawyers left and right. Andy also talks about this book that she has that a lot of people feel like is just a catalog of call girls. Diana said that she was very proud of the book. So if you were so proud of the book, how come when Dorit had mentioned the book to you during the season, you didn't want to talk about it? But now you're trying to convince me you're so proud of the book? Diana's inconsistencies are laughable to me. It's just like, girl, you say one thing and then you turn it around and say something totally different. Andy also addresses her licking her lips, and Diana says that it's a nervous tick. And the women start to laugh at her and everything. I feel like every little thing Diana is saying, trying to be funny, Erica, Rinna, and whomever else are like bawling over laughing. Girl, she's not that funny. Get up out of her butt. So, of course, Andy also asked her about giving money to these Girardi victims and how Erica felt about that. And Erica's like, I was fine with it. But if it was somebody else, Erica would not be fine with it. Let's be very clear. She has made her stance on this show be, don't care about the victims, just care about me. That's how she's been towards her friends. So you're telling me it didn't bother you at all that Diana gave these people money? Okay, girl. You're the same girl who has also questioned if there are in fact victims. Okay, Erica. Andy asked Garcelle if she thought that Diana was behind Jax's bullying online. And Garcelle said yes, she thought that she was. You have to give it to Garcelle. She says most times what she really thinks. And this was no different. Diana said, you must have a poor opinion of me if you think I would do that to Jax. Garcelle says, yes, I do. Pretty much, yep, you're 100% correct. I do. That was funny to me. Garcelle reveals that Diana sent her a threatening text message, which is why she feels the way that she feels. According to Garcelle, the last text message from these bots that Jax received said, you'd have your neck kneeled on if it weren't for your white daddy. Tell your mom to leave Diana alone or you will deal with us. So, of course, Garcelle's son posts that to his social media saying this has got to stop. And Diana saw this. She decided to send Garcelle a text asking Garcelle to have Jax take the post down and remove Diana's name. So in the middle of dealing with all of this, meaning Garcelle, Diana wants her to intervene and take down a text message that her son received because Diana's name was on it. Why would Garcelle be thinking about that? She's concerned about her son's mental state and what this whole situation is doing to not only him, but her family. She has more than one son, by the way. So the text that Diana sent threatening Garcelle said, if anything happens to my children, you will be held legally responsible, and no Bravo contract will stop me. I guess by making Cherie take down my birthday post, you wanted to solidify me as a racist and actually ruin my life. So let's break this down a little bit. You're so concerned about your family, Diana, that is, that you're going to send Garcelle a threatening text message? That's the first thing you think to do? It's not Garcelle's job to defend you and your family. You're not a victim. Her son is the victim. Garcelle can't control what people are saying to you, just like you, unless you're behind it, can't control what people are saying about Garcelle and her kids. Next, how would Garcelle be legally responsible for anything happening to your children? Explain that to me. If something happens to your kids, and I hope that it doesn't, that's on the person that does it. That's not on Garcelle. That's not how it works here. Because, Diana likes to play the, well, I'm not from this country and I don't understand this and I don't understand that. You've been here long enough to know better. So trying to use that excuse, it just doesn't fly anymore. I'm sorry, it doesn't. So Kyle once again interjects and she's like, well, what I think Diana is trying to say is she just wanted you to take out her name and repost it. I don't know why she said that to Garcelle because Garcelle jumped around and looked at Kyle like, what? She said, are you effing kidding me? So in the middle of me trying to protect my child, this is Garcelle speaking, you want me to come and save all the rest of you? And she points to the rest of the women. And Kyle's like, no, I'm not the one who said it. So then why are you talking right now, Kyle? Diana can defend herself and say what she meant. Hush. Garcelle, I have never seen her this upset. And I have to say, I was here for it. I was like, yes, Garcelle, finally. Get a little bit upset, girl. It's okay. Erica gonna sit there and say, you don't have to save me. Girl, shut up. Just shut up. I cannot. Garcelle said, in that moment, my son is not thinking, oh, let me protect Diana. He's putting it out there. Listen, y'all need to stop. This is getting out of hand. That's the whole purpose of why Jax put up what he put up. And I think anybody else would have probably done the same thing. At this point, Garcelle is like, I'm done talking to you, Diana. I'm done. Because Diana's trying to say something like, well, your son got a threat, but my children got death threats. And their threats are worse than your son's threats. This is not a competition, Diana. Nobody should be getting threats, number one. Number two, Lisa Rinna was the only housewife that, if I'm not mistaken, y'all help me if I'm wrong, that went out and put out a post about this thing happening with Garcelle's son. If Diana was so not involved and so caring and so whatever she's trying to make it seem like she was, how come you didn't condemn what these people were doing to her son? Not one time did she say anything about this happening to Garcelle's son. Please, I don't want to hear nothing about you and your kids. Your kids are just fine and you know it. At the end, Garcelle wants to know why Diana is so obsessed with her because Andy asked Garcelle, if Diana was here, what would you say to her? And that's the question that Garcelle would have for Diana. And then they show all of these posts that Diana has made on social media trying to come for Garcelle. That's pretty much the end of the episode, guys. You guys let me know what you all thought, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.